Good evening, Commissioner.
Good evening, sir.
Basically, I came to bring up a problem that I see.
And
You
what,
know,
if we're,
a problem. The mayor had said when he was trying to get this Great Lakes Water Authority through, that that people that live in the city would be doing most of the work. Now, I heard Mr. Brown say that the contractors have to have at least 51% control. But as I travel around the city and see the different work being done, I might see one person I recognize as being, a city worker. So what I want to know is what kind of process you have to check on to make sure that there are city workers that's working.
Yeah, the mayor has a very robust unit out of City Hall that is going from job site to job site. There is a lot of work going on in the city of Detroit right now. You have the Great Lakes Water Authority that is working on transmission lines and exercising valves in the city of Detroit right now. We have a very robust lead service line replacement program going on. You have DTE replacing their service lines, putting meters on the outside of the house. And so it's difficult for me to even look at a job and understand who it is. But I'm telling you that more than 50% of my employees at DWSD are Detroiters. And on my major contracts, we require them to have 51% of those employees. And their payroll records are being checked thoroughly, and they're being fined if in fact they don't adhere to that.
Something else I'd like to ask. I live in the Dexter, West Grand Boulevard area.
North Wales.
Okay, and coming down Dexter, they're putting in the water lines with this machine that tunnels in the ground.
Directional.
Also, they have some people that's working on the sidewalk. Don't make no sense to have somebody to do a sidewalk, and then you have to dig up the sidewalk in order to get underground.
Well, I'm not sure if that's our crew or not, but what we're doing on Outer Drive is we're taking the water mains out of the street and we're putting them into the sidewalk so that if a repair needs to be made, we won't be tearing up a brand new street. And so we're where we can, we're moving our water mains under the sidewalk as opposed to putting them into the street so that we don't tear up brand new streets.
I wanted to make you aware, and you need to check the contractors to make sure that they're hiring up to the percentage that they agree on. Okay?
we will try to make that a part of the customer service agenda going forward so that we can assure you that that is being checked. Thank you very much.
Mr. Brown, I believe that he stated where he's seen that going on at the location.
West Grand Boulevard and Dexter.
Right, and you gave him another location of what's going on.
Yeah, I said I'm not sure what crew is working at Dexter. It may not be DWSD, but I know that what's happening on Outer Drive because I was there today.
William Davis?
Yes. Hello, William Davis.
Good evening, Mr. Davis.
Former DWSD employee. I did 34 years at the wastewater treatment plant. Started as a helper, ended up as a group manager. I have a couple of comments. One, Mr. Brown, when you said that you're getting $50 million from Great Lakes Water Authority, that's inaccurate, especially if the city of Detroit is contributing like a third of that. Also, separately, you indicated that part of the, some of the stuff is doing is how to pay pensions. My pension was cut. It's still being cut. I still got a pension cut every month. So some people would take that not being quite accurate also. And I lost my health care, and my family's health care. I still got 2 young adult sons, and so some of that stuff is not quite accurate. In general, I'm also president of the Detroit Active Retired Employee Association, so I know a lot of people that is very familiar with water transmission lines and what have you. And I'm also president of Detroit Chapter National Action Network. And we also do spot checks, and we find that a number of people working on lines are not Detroiters. Of course, there's a gray area as it relates to some of the Great Lakes water transmission lines and DWSD lines. I think that we could be a little bit more accurate in our information that we're disseminating to the people. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. I think in order for us to be able to do that, however, we need to know specifically what we're looking at. Thank you very much, and we will certainly strive to be more accurate in what we're doing. D'Amico Williams.
Did I mention there's a water meeting for the commission on next Thursday at Daybo at Grand River in Wyoming? Where people is concerned about some of the stuff they want to see in the chart about water?
At 6 o'clock.
At 6 o'clock, 6
I
o'clock.
hope they can conduct the business. Thank you very much. Mr. Williams, you did not give us an address for your organization on your card.
No, because I'm pretty sure my comments aren't going to warrant, even though I gave you all last month correspondence to talk with me off the records about how can we prevent water shutoffs from happening this summer. I have not heard from anyone. Mr. Brown responded, but we never got the chance to make the time. Never heard from the water board commissioners, only but one, and that's Commissioner Kinlock, to talk about how can we give people help. Haven't heard from you, Mrs. Blackman, in regards to what we can do to work together, because at this point right now, the water shutoffs are getting worse. They're getting worse. And you can say it's robust, you can say it's compassionate, it's nowhere near damn compassionate. When a mother has to come up with $1,200 and don't have money, due to a job loss, due to a layoff, or due to God knows whatever, because you didn't investigate it. You didn't investigate how people are being shut off. And the long-term customers that cannot get their water turned on, that are in the $4,000 to $5,000 range, due to a pipe burst. Did you all even address the people that had pipe issues during the polar vortex this past winter? It was a rough winter. And we are now suffering from a high water bill because of the polar vortex. We ain't got no credits. We didn't get any response from the city, from the mayor, from Mr. Brown, from the county, nobody. And you keep acting like what people are saying, you keep brushing them off as if they're non-concerns and want to send them back in writing. These questions and these concerns that we all have, you all are supposed to answer them right in front of us, in front of everybody, so that we all can get very clarity and understanding. Let me also address another thing to you. The amount of people that have their water shut off, that don't know where to turn to, that have been turned away from RAP, that have been turned away from Wayne Metro, are the same people that's coming to Hydrate Detroit, and we've been able to get them deals and settlements. We've been able to get them, keep their water on, and been able to put a little bit on the pot. Now, we have a big water drive on July the 20th, where we hope that we can get more people's water turned on. We want these water shutoffs to stop. Do another affordability fair. Do another outreach. Stop putting on the damn buses $500 million invested in the water and sewer system, because those are not working, where there should be opportunities for people to get their water turned back on without fear, without intimidation, and without the BS rigmarole runaround. The RAP program isn't working. The current assistance programs isn't working. Thaw ain't working. It's time to meet with us here at the table, starting with me and a few other water activists for a summit about how to make our water bills affordable. I say no water rate increase. No water rates increase. You're going to have to find the money somewhere else. Go to Trump if you need to find that money.
Madam Chair, I just want to make one comment. I mean, when D'Amico says that Hydrate Detroit gets their water back on, it's because he's talking to my staff every day that's getting their water back on. Now, do we get every single person that he calls? No, they have a lot of different issues that we work through. But 60 to 70% of the people that he calls me with every day, and he talks to my staff directly, they get that water back on. So he doesn't get it on, we get it on for him. So for him to come here every meeting and say that we don't do anything, we do. He has a direct line into my office. He calls every day, and we help his customers every single day get their water back on.
It's gonna be all of it. And you just asked me to come through
Excuse
and
me.
to bring
Mr.
an outreach
Mr.
to
Williams,
help you.
Mr. Williams, excuse me, audience,
In
please.
fact, one of my Facebook
Mr.
friends watching right now owes
Mr.
$100,000.
Mr. Williams,
And you ain't got homeowner to turn back over that.
excuse me, please. Excuse me. Did you fill out a card, darling?
No, bro.
Then you can fill out a card, but it's too late now, but.
Let me
please.
respond.
Excuse me.
I'm always gonna bring
Mr.
you
Williams,
some help, and
Mr.
I'm
Williams,
always gonna give
Mr.
respect
Williams,
where
thank
credit
you.
is due.
Thank you, and we are working, these are our customers, Mr. Williams, Mr.
We are
Williams.
inside of a church.
Yes,
Please
please.
remember that you're in a sanctuary.
Thank you.
No, be respectful.
That line is being
Excuse me.
respectful as well. That line is being respectful as
Excuse
well.
me,
Excuse me,
someone is talking.
and I'm talking.
Respect and remember when you listen, we are the ones who pay the bill. We understand the
Process. All he was saying was, it was being done. We understand you're the facilitator. But let's respect each other, let the parties work. But please do not insult our intelligence, please be.
That's our goal, sir, is to work with you, not against you, so that we're trying to explain the process and do everything we can to help the customers. These are our customers as well.
Good evening, it's my
Good
first time here. I'm a teacher, retired teacher from Detroit Public Schools, a current teacher with the state of Michigan dealing with special needs kids in a mental health facility. And I live in the Cornerstone area, and I was just curious, because this is my first time here and I wasn't probably keeping up, but have the water problem been resolved in these schools? With the high lead levels and the copper levels, have that been resolved, or they're still doing the hydration thing? Has not been resolved yet?
Mr. Brown?
Yes, the issues at DPS have been resolved.
So they're using their regular water with the pipes and all that stuff? Did new pipes get installed or
They're
something?
using DWSD water, it's going through a hydration system that filters it, and the issue has been resolved.
So they can drink out of the water
Yes.
fountain and all that stuff,
Yes.
okay? And I did notice where I live, Finney High School, because it shouldn't be called East English Village, it's not even in East English Village area, it's in Cornerstone. But anyway, Finney High School is where I live, and I saw that that area did not have any problems, so that's good to know. And then also about these water hikes, come on now. Find it from somewhere else, please. We, the citizens of Detroit, do not need another increase in our water. We don't need any increases in our water at all. And I don't know whether you know anything about this or not, but what about the Flint water situation? Has that been resolved? I know it was reconnected, and was it 2016, you guys?
Yeah, Flint situation is on the Great Lakes Water Authority system for the last 2 years. They recently signed a 30-year contract to stay on the Great Lakes.
Okay, great.
So
Now,
they-
what about charging them for the water? I hope that's not happening anymore. Why are they being charged for their water bill when many people died? I think, about 14 people died from Legionnaires? And then you have kids who were not special need kids prior to the poisoning, and now they are. So they're gonna be my customer one day.
Ms. Bonner, we don't bill Flint customers, that is not.
You don't bill them,
That is not a
okay.
part of our system.
All right, is anything new gonna happen with, putting new pipes in the Detroit neighborhoods at all?
It's happening every day.
Okay, all right,
Thank you
thank
very
you.
much. James Williams? James Williams?
Well, if he's not here, that lady that was talking to
My name is James Williams, and I'm a retiree, a senior citizen, and a disabled veteran. My request is for this honorable commission to grant me an audit and fair assessment for my past water usage at my Richardson address. And I would like this was done after a meter reading final meter reading read. And there were some issues. But what happened, what I want you to do is I want to meet with the manager that promised me a meeting, to review the city's own records, okay, of the usage, at that building as it compared to my invoices that I received. Now, hey, this is not all squeaky clean. There were some errors on my part, okay? We make mistakes. But what we do need to do is make sure that we keep our words when we make meetings. It took me, here's what happened, and this is a couple other things I want. I want a person assigned that can patiently communicate the results of these reports with an older person. Get the message, okay? That's me. I'm no longer the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I also want my voice to be heard, and I also want that report to be passed on to upper management. And the third thing, also by resolving the associated cost to me in the time delay, this cost me in my exhaustive efforts to get this situation reviewed. I want to pay the money, okay, what I owe. Now, just to give you a little background, I received a large bill, and I'm sure that, by now that I know that I owe some. And I was promised a meeting to go over the results. There was no show. After about a week of trying to get a hold of this person, the secretary said, "Hey, Mr. Williams, we got to make this thing happen." Okay, and they got the person on the line after a week. What happened is the person told me that, "Hey, Mr. Williams, actually, you don't have a problem. You don't owe a bill." Well, I was happy. Okay, you don't owe a bill. I got a hold of the individual. I talked with the person. They're going to come down and pay the bill. I'm jumping for joy. And then what happened? They told me that. So I wanted some kind of confirmation. They told me I had to wait to like a 30-day period of time before I could get it. A couple weeks later, I called just to get some kind of confirmation because I wanted to do a final closing on the building. I was told that they couldn't do that.
Mr. Williams, if you're available tomorrow morning, we can have that meeting. You and
Okay.
I know your case very well, and
Okay.
we can.
All right.
I can give you an audience.
Okay,
So,
but
my staff is back there. They will.
But I do have one thing, and I know this is not going to do me any good.
Yeah.
This may not be politically correct, but I do want to say this, Mr. Brown, and I know that you're working on it. I believe that, okay? But there needs to be some kind of culture change within the organization. At the top level, middle management, I'm sure you're aware of that, okay? And then as well as at the lower level, I'll give you just one quick example. I was coming out of the water department, I met a man that was coming in. This was 5:55. He was trying to get his water turned off for his family. The guard knew that it was 4:55. He even said, "Well, our clock is different from your clock." And we looked at his clock. We showed because I just happened to stop. And what ended up happening, he wouldn't let the guy in. I don't know what happened to the guy, but I told him if I ever got a chance to say something, that I would tell you that. You can check that out yourself. There's a difference, okay? And so I appreciate that.
Yes, we will definitely look into that because that should not be the case. If a customer comes to our building in time, regardless as to whether that can be resolved that day, that customer should be seen. And Mr. Williams,
When we meet, we need to have the title company at least on a conference call.
Okay.
Because
All right.
thank you very
there's a
much.
legal issue here that needs to be resolved. So we need
We
the
will talk
title.
with
We
you.
need the title company.
Thank you so much. Andre Brooks.
Questions answered regarding the volume credit, and I'm just here today to ask for your assistance in getting those questions answered. I gave a packet along with the comment card to the young lady. So if you can assist me with that, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. It is my understanding that the department has responded to your concerns. Now, I don't know what else we can do in that regard, but since you brought it to the full board, we will certainly refer it back to staff, and someone will be in touch.
Yes, I gave specific details on the questions that I had. They did respond, but they did not answer the questions that I asked previously.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll make sure that the staff gets with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Frida George. Welcome, Ms. George.
My question is, my driveway is torn up and I want to get it cemented. Will I be penalized for that?
Well, we would like for you, let me just say, we want it to be impervious, not pervious.
But
So-
if I don't get it paid, then I have a bunch of money.
I mean, we want to be pervious, not impervious. We want to be pervious. So, I don't know who you should.
What do you
be
mean
in touch
by
with.
penalized? I didn't.
Because if the drainage fee, so I don't want to get it paid.
Solidly
and
paid,
then
yes.
it's ragged. But I don't want to be penalized, but I don't want to have a bunch of mud. So do I have the mud and no cement? And if somebody from the suburb had the same problem, would you do the same to them?
We don't build suburban customers, nor do we handle them. So no, we would not do the same thing because we would not be in touch with them. But they have their own issues regarding paving but a lot of them have pervious areas that they're changing from impervious to pervious so that more of the water gets absorbed into the ground and not has to go through the system. But I'm referring to our deputy director.
We will respond to you in writing. More likely than not, this was already picked up in our flyover, even if it was cracked, it still showed up as an impervious area. So you would be charged as long as the replacement of that driveway was the same, size that it currently is. Your charge more or less should be around the same. Your acres should be around the same. Ms. Wallach in the back can take a look at your account right now.
I'm kind of scared. I gave you all my address, and I don't want to phone flying.
No, we've already flown the entire city. You're already paying more likely than not for your driveway being charged. But Ms. Wallach behind you will take a look. She's gonna go look at it right now for you.
Because I'm just keeping it real, and I just want to make a comment, and I hear what the people are saying, and I'm looking at these expressions, and I'm going to give a scripture, Genesis 1:2. The earth was formless and void, and at the end of the scripture it says, the Spirit of God was moving over the surface of the waters. God created the water on the days. He created the water out of formless material, and I don't know you all, and you all don't know me. But when I hear people complaining and dying of the water, that's God's water. And if you all are good stewards over this water, remember, you will reap what you sow.
Thank you, Ms. George. Doris Carswell, are you here?
Yes.
Please come forward. You're welcome.
I thank you all, other members, for giving me a brief time. I'm in the Rosedale Park area. I had a problem and still have a problem. I don't know if I got a sinkhole or what. I called DTE and I've been with 4 of those people. They keep giving me the runaround. It's either Detroit that's responsible and not DTE's problem. In 2017, the DTE and city installed and removed old meters from the inside of my home and placed them on the outside of our property. That's the whole Rosedale Park area. On that property, they moved the dirt and underground infrastructures by dragging a cable underneath the ground. which killed grass, flowers, and my husband's under,
Ma'am,
yes?
that is definitely a DTE issue, but we have a liaison that we can work with you, with them, to have them fix
Well, I
your
need
issue.
someone to come out and look at it because we don't know if it's a sinkhole, it has fallen in and enlarged. I fell in. That's what's bringing me down here. I need help.
We're gonna help you.
Somebody
We're gonna help you. We're gonna
come out and look at it.
We're going to,
We're gonna help.
assist you. We're gonna refer it over to DTE's Government Relations Director. So we will send it over.
Okay, because I've had 3 of them come out. One said that there's a pipe busted, the other they tell 2 different stories, so I don't know what to believe.
So in your home, you do have water pressure, you have water that's on in your home?
I've got water and
Okay.
pressure.
And when you flush the toilet, it is?
It works,
Okay,
but
so
that's
you don't-
not the problem.
you don't have a
inside.
broken water
The problem
line.
is outside.
I know, but you don't have,
And they put, when they installed this, they broke up our driveway leading to the street,
DTE.
which was okay. But they replaced it with black chalk, which crumbles all apart.
We're going to find a person and put them with you. And we will work with you to get them to fix the issue.
Well, thank you, that's what I want.
Thank you very much. That concludes, oh, I have one more. Bernetta West.
Hello. My
Good
name is
evening.
Renee West. And, I am retired, I am a resident of Detroit. Okay, in 2003, I bought my home, and I had a sewer break at the city main line. And when I called to get some assistance, they told me, oh, you're the only house on the block, so we can't help you. So, okay, I was blessed then. I choked up to $3,000 and I paid for that system to get fixed. However, now I'm retired. So, if any big major project come up, I'm not sure if I can handle it. But if you look around in the room, half the citizens in the room or the people are senior citizens. And I sort of feel sorry for the board and for the people because usually when there are updates and things have to change, the people have to pay for it. And guess what? Most senior citizens are making what, or not making, they retired so they get Social Security, what, $1,500 to $1,900 a month. So, they do have programs for low-income people, but guess what? Do you have programs for no-income people? Because that's what senior citizens are. You pay for your mortgage, you pay for your car insurance, you pay for cable, your phone bill, medical bill, your prescriptions, you pay for your food and little resale clothes. And by that time, you have no income. So please, let's vote for our problem. How are we going to pay for water? My daughter taught me how to coupon to get staple goods like dish detergent, washing powder, and other sorts of things like paper towel, toilet paper. But guess what? I need a coupon to pay my water and my gas bill. My gas, yeah, I have to pay that. I need a coupon. So we need to take this problem up a little higher to someone because the city citizen of Detroit, we can't pay. We can't pay for these updates. We already did with DTE, so I don't see how we're gonna do for the water. So we need a solution. I don't blame anybody. We need a solution. We need to take it out. And we'll start with AARP. Let's see if they can work with these companies to help us, or maybe give us a coupon. Let's settle this problem somehow. God bless us
Thank you,
all.
Ms. West.
Excuse me, I forgot to ask, where would I find the size of my meter outside of my property?
water meters are inside the property, and so it sounds like you may be asking a DTE question. I am emailing DTE right now, and the size of your meter is on your water bill for our purposes, but your water meter is in the basement of your property.
I'm asking that because of the rate increase.
Yeah, your water meter is inside of your house, but more likely than not, your service is less than 2 inches. It's probably 1 inch to 1.5 inches. It's probably your meter size.
Okay, that concludes the number of public comment cards we have received. So we're moving on now to, and that closes public comment. And thank you all for your concerns, and we will certainly be getting back to you. The next item on the agenda is the director's metrics.
And I'll be brief, Madam Chair, but as everyone in Detroit knows, and the region, we've experienced heavy rain more than 23 days in May, which further increases already high river and lake levels. As you may or may not know, we've had a lot of flooding down in the downtown area around the river. We were there this weekend. We got 10,000 sandbags placed on those seawalls to stop the flooding, the river from overflowing onto properties. But it's an ongoing problem. The river still has not crested as of yet. It is not our water or sewer system does not have a problem. It is functioning as intended. The problem is it was not intended to take on water from the Detroit River. It's designed to take on rain, not the Detroit River. But we are working with residents down in that particular area to get those seawalls shored up. We're early into the construction season. DWSD contractors have already completed water main and lead service line replacements on 4 streets and close to wrapping up another 3. The plan to upgrade the water and sewer system by neighborhoods will start later this summer with Cornerstone. I know there was a person who came to the podium to talk about Cornerstone, but Cornerstone and North Rosedale Park. The department will have significant technology improvements coming this summer. Like all city departments, we're moving to completely a web-based payroll system, and it started this week. And we're having very few problems with it, so we're glad to hear that. The maintenance and repair crews are piloting and moving to the CityWorks platform to improve work order management based on customers' requests. So when customers come in, we'll be better able to manage their complaints. And customers will improve too. We'll also make improvements to the web-based system. With that said, Madam Chair, you have the monthly metrics. Will give the board an opportunity to go through them. And if you have any questions or concerns, we can address them at the next board meeting. Thank you.
Any questions on part of our commissioners on the director's metrics? Are there comments by the commissioners? Any comments by commissioners? Are there any other matters to come before this board this time? The chair is not here, so we're not having any comments by the chair. Our next meeting, committee meetings are on July 9th at 1:30 at the Water Board building. All of the committees meet at that time. During that time, 1:30 to 4:30. So you're welcome to come down. Customer service committee meeting is one where I'm hearing a lot of issues where you might want to come and bring them before the customer service committee, and we can report out on the things that we're doing to help improve customer service. Certainly, the concerns we heard tonight will be addressed, and we will make sure that customers will feel welcome when they come and that they're treated appropriately and in a timely manner. If there are no other matters to come before the board at this time, Chair will entertain a motion for adjournment.
May you please repeat the next meeting?
The next meeting, the committee meetings that I just mentioned, that's July 9th at the Water Board building on Randolph, 735 Randolph.
Please speak up.
At the Water Board building, 735 Randolph, 1:30, the meeting starts. All committee meetings will take place at that time. They will follow each other. So hopefully we'll be finished by 4, but maybe 4:30. Any other questions about that?
What you guys are gonna do about this ongoing problem with the increase of
You have to know that that's an issue that's being addressed by any number of entities at the state, the county, and the city, and at the water board level. So we will be reporting out on any improvements that we can make, but as the director said, we're not in control of the rain and how much it comes, our system is built to accommodate just so much rain, and then the river is a different issue altogether. So we're working with,
The system's working fine. The system is working fine.
Right now.
Can I, if you want me to answer the question, I'll answer it, but let me answer. The system is working fine. We have a system that was built for 2 million people. We have 650,000. We have more capacity than we need. The system's working fine. It wasn't intended for the river to come over into the street. It's like if you're in your bathroom, if your bathtub was overflowing and you were pumping it right back off the floor into the tub. That's the issue, the cresting of the river. And you're right, global warming is real. It's a national issue that has to be addressed at that level. But the Detroit water and sewer system is working as intended. And we're putting the dollars into it to make sure that it's maintained and continues to work. But we will not be able to keep up with the Detroit River flowing over into neighborhoods.
And these are issues we should be talking to our state representatives about, our Congress about, and we do as well. But I said we continue to do that because that's really where this whole issue of global warming has to take place, a change has to take place at the national level. And that we should do whatever we need to do to make sure that happens. There are no other comments by commissioners. The chair will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved. Support.
Probably moved and supported that we adjourn this meeting. This meeting stands adjourned.
And you still approve water rates, even after you said no. Give you a hug.